Minutes ago, LeBron James has decided to stay with the Lakers. The Kings general manager trades away one defenseman and fears he will lose another. And the Dodgers send confusing signals about two potential starting pitchers. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. We had breaking news just before I started taping, so we're going to break that down. LeBron James back to LA. It's June 29th, 2025, Sunday, the Lord's Day. And if you believe as I do, take a moment and thank Him for the blessings that you have in your life, like LA Sports. And like new subscribers, we added one to the Angeleno Familia yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. If you like being in the know about LA Sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, we'll look at the scoreboard. Kansas City 9, Dodgers 5. If you're looking for a bright spot, Shohei Ohtani's third start went 2 efficient innings, including a fastball that was clocked at 101.7 miles per hour, a career best. As for the rest of the game, Meanwhile, the Galaxy tied San Jose 1-1. Today, the Dodgers are at Kansas City at 11 a.m. Vancouver is at LAFC at 6:30. Chicago is at the Sparks at 1. And what do you say we get to the news? Just minutes ago, The Athletic reported that NBA all-time leading scorer LeBron James will pick up the option on his contract for next season. He waited until today's deadline because that's what drama kings do. Just like drama queens, we don't favor genders here. There's drama queens, there's drama kings. LeBron waited until the last minute. Now, unlike last year, there was no offer from James to take a pay cut if the right player came along to rob Pelinka. And don't get me wrong, that's James's right. Also, of note, all the Lakers bloggers who are publishing panic porn about a potential James retirement, wrong again. James will make $52.6 million this year, and that, plus perhaps playing alongside his son, were the key points behind this choice. And we're going to call it a choice. God help us all if we ever hear about LeBron James and the decision ever again. Look, the guy's 40, played with a left knee sprain in the Lakers' last playoff game last year. You put all that in a blender, who the hell was going to pay him that much? It's the money. So with that out of the way, the Lakers now have 2 cornerstones to next year's team locked in. What we don't know, though, is about another player that would be pretty doggone valuable. Dorian Finney-Smith has yet to decide if he's going to opt in for next year. And that matters. This is the deadline to decide about whether you're opting in or taking free agency. The so-called legal tampering period for NBA free agency opens Monday. If Finney-Smith leaves, it'll be a steel-toe kick to the groin because that means the Lakers would have sent 3 second-round draft picks to Brooklyn, and all they get out of it was half a season and 1 first-round playoff exit. So once we know about Finney-Smith, that's going to set the table for the rest of the Lakers offseason. Pelinka did not tip his own hand as to the Lakers' plans. But you don't have to be a genius to know what the plans are. They need a center. They need 2. Pelinka did say he has a feeling, quote, there's going to be a lot of movement around the NBA, unquote. You can understand why. Kevin Durant, already traded. Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Desmond Bane, all traded. So it's going to be curious to see how the Lakers could actually acquire a center. In free agency, the only thing they have to offer is the mid-level exception contract, which is about $5.7 million. So if they can't do it with that, they're left with trades. Pelinka reiterated to ESPN that Austin Reeves will not be traded. And that's somewhat odd. After all, Reeves just wiped his nose with a max contract offer and threw it out the car window. So if it's true that Reeves is untouchable, that makes the Lakers' most tradable assets a future first-round pick, Dalton Connect, and the expiring contracts on Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and Maxi Kleber. So, one day away from NBA free agency, that's your Laker update. Let me know what you think. Like a mantra, new Kings general manager Ken Holland told the scribes that defense is at the top of my to-do list. Defense is at the top of my to-do list. I don't know what Zen Buddhism class uses that phrase as a mantra, but you get the idea. Analysts thought the Kings would want to add a high-scoring winger, but nope, it's going to be defense, and now we know why. In addition to what appears to be a losing fight to keep Vladislav Gavrikov, in addition to Drew Doughty being at the tail end of his career, Holland traded Jordan Spence to Ottawa in yesterday's final day of the NHL draft. LA got a couple of draft picks back, then they made another trade to acquire more draft capital. We're going to review the draft in just a moment, but the Spence trade impacts the here and now. Holland simply doesn't favor smaller defensemen, and that left a problem to solve. Jordan Spence and Brant Clark were a redundancy. They were smaller right-handed shot defensemen. Somebody had to go. Neither were going to be cracking the top pairing next year. But the tell, the little facial tick when you're playing poker that your opponent has, the tell was when Spence didn't even participate in the Kings playoff series last year. So the PR team put together the perfunctory thank you tweet and put him on a flight, sailing away, just flying away to America's evil top hat. You could say the Kings didn't get enough back, but are you sure? Because they get a little bit more cap space with Spence off the books. And trust me, if they have a shot at retaining Gavrikov, they're going to need to pony up. NHL free agency opens Tuesday, by the way, and the Kings have about $23 million in cap space. Now, regarding Gavrikov, Holland said that he did not hear from the player's agent Saturday. Quote, looking more and more like he's going to go July 1st, unquote. Holland said if Gavrikov splits, he will look to sign two defensemen. That would mean you got Doughty and Mikey Anderson as the top pair, perhaps Clark and Joel Edmondson as the second pair. You would want the two defensemen. The Kings do have Kyle Burrows, they do have Jacob Maurer, but they are seen as injury replacements, not actual starters. As for the draft, they made 8 selections, and frankly, they're randos. Not that I was ever going to be confused as an NHL draft expert, but everything that I've been reading says this draft was at best meh. None of them are going to be in the NHL next year. There are some analysts who actually don't think any of those picks are sure bets to make the NHL. So we could talk about who might make a difference or who might have a shot. But it seems to me the Kings took all of these picks to try to replenish a prospect pool that was completely drained. Not elite, but at least the Ontario Reign is going to have a full roster at some point. Here's something to scratch your head over. Dave Roberts says, A, Emmett Sheehan deserves to be in the Dodgers roto. Then he says, B, to the Orange County Register, quote, I'm not particularly sure when his next outing is. I know it's not going to be with us. He'll have another one with OKC, and then at that point in time, there might be some things happening, unquote. So Sheehan, who had a pretty damn solid start in the majors a couple of weeks ago in a return from Tommy John surgery, and was just mowing people down in AAA, nah, Not yet. Make it make sense. Meanwhile, the LA Times reported a non-update on Roki Sasaki. They said his shoulder feels really good, but the next steps in his return are yet to be determined. And this makes me wonder if anybody at the LA Times has ever lifted a single weight in their lives. Sasaki has shoulder impingement syndrome. When you have shoulder impingement syndrome, you often feel amazing during your recovery. Why? Because it only hurts when the acromion and the clavicle come together and pinch a muscle inside the joint. If you're Sasaki, if you're just sitting on your couch with a video game controller in your hand, you're not putting any stress on your shoulder at all. You feel amazing. Lift your arm over your head like you're about to pitch. Whammo, it sucks. So this is a non-update. We've been talking about this for weeks. When it comes to Roki Sasaki, to the LA Times, do us all a favor. Let it go until he's on a mound. Nicholas Batum has declined his option to remain with the Clippers, and I can't say I blame him. It all goes beyond whether or not the Clippers will make it out of the first round of the playoffs, by the way. This is actually about money. The deal he had in place with the Clippers that he declined was for less than $5 million. He's a dual threat, solid on interior defense at 6'10". He's also an effective three-point shooter. He's also 36. And he already suggested that he'll retire at the end of next season. The dude is looking for a golden parachute. Now, the Clippers do have the chance to retain him, mind you. But if Batum thinks he can get more by going somewhere else before he moves back to France, can you blame him? UCLA football recovered from 2 recent decommits. They landed a 3-star prospect from Colorado, Torrey Davis. The reason that we went super bland with the description, just calling him a prospect, an athlete, is because we don't know where he could line up. He played both receiver and safety in high school out in Boulder. Scouting reports suggest he could play safety for the Bruins because he has the speed to go from sideline to sideline and also the ability to chase down opponents. But here's the thing. Those 2 Bruins decommitments from a couple of days ago, those were both wide receivers. So they might need him on offense too. No idea. With Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh, you know you're going to get 3 things. 1, hard-nosed football. 2, goofy anecdotes to disguise his health problems. And 3, legal problems. You pretty much had a feeling you were going to get legal problems. There was a reason he went back to the NFL. Michigan faced a lot of problems by the time Harbaugh left. The Chargers coach was added as a defendant in a class action lawsuit filed by students against a former Michigan offensive coordinator, Matt Weiss. Weiss was accused of hacking into emails, social media, and cloud storage of female athletes and downloading, well, you know. Now, nobody is claiming that Harbaugh has a cell phone full of nudes from the Wolverines volleyball team. Nobody's claiming that. The suit claims that Harbaugh knew Weiss was allegedly a very naughty boy. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Are you happy, relieved, or wishing the Lakers would have moved on from LeBron James? For that matter, what is your hope for the Kings defense? Because it looks like it's about to get rebuilt from scratch. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.